All right, we are in for the Boom Sports and welcome to Rhino TV. The people of Koboko, I want to say good morning. Of course, EAT Adruma definitely goes out to you. What about Madi? If you are in Madi sub-region, I also want to say, still within West Nile, I want to say Manjo Kosi. Thank you very much. And what about the people of really deserve? I know Boom Sports or sports in general, everyone deserves it because there's no one who actually wants to do without sports. It's either you listen to music, West Nile is covered in that, because by merely having Nile vibes, which will be hopefully coming your way later, which means you are very much covered. If you don't love music, then sports is where you belong. But remember, sports and music, the two actually do go together. Welcome, and probably going into some of our talking points today. KIMNAZZ Atinga for the people remains my name. Yesterday we were actually able to get quite a number of feedback, and we believe today you can still go on to do the same. Just drop the feedback in case there is a challenge that you encounter me probably while watching. You can drop it right there. In case it is a sound issue, we'll still be able to positively take it and respond to it. For us, we love people who give us negative feedback as well, because it makes us to go positive and probably correct all those. I also want to say sorry that we're able to delay for the 1 hour, but tomorrow we hopefully believe we'll be able to start it on time and give you what you need at the right time. KIMNAZZ, like I said, of course, we're going down to the business today and starting it off with some stories probably within West Nile. Remember, rugby, we don't only cover football, but we cover other sporting disciplines as well. So today we are starting it off with the beautiful game of rugby. Remember, the Uganda Lady Cranes team, that is as far as rugby is concerned, are so much preparing for the, of course, for some continental engagements. And interestingly, there's going to be that is a championship that is going to be happening within Uganda. Of course, we are actually seeing through a lot of interesting news or stories coming through from the rugby world. For the West Nilers, 4 or 5 of the ladies from West Nile have been summoned into the team, and the most interesting one being the captain for the Uganda Lady Cranes, that is rugby Lady Cranes team. Yesterday, there was a news that came from the Hawkers, of course, by the mere fact that Peace Lekuru is being named the captain for the side, tells you how much talent we do have in the region that still remains undigested. Still, it's still uncovered. At the end of the day, it now calls for everyone's responsibility to promote all this. But I can tell you, in the rugby, that is a Cranes team, particularly for the ladies, you have up to 7 ladies. Aikoro Samia is one of the ladies, but probably you have the notable figures to mention in this very team. Edonia Sijali, who once played with, actually she was a student at Adumi SS, is one of the players who is going to represent Uganda. There is actually Emily, who is also in that team. The list is very lengthy, and I can tell you that Uganda probably has something so nice to give you. But for West Nile, there seems to be an interest probably for those who love seeing up or coming up of the West Nile talent. You definitely will go down and check through the list of people who are actually being named right there. Let's go through some of the names, particularly from West Nile, who have actually been named in that team. Edonia Sijali is one. Of course, you have Lekuru Peace, the captain for the side. What about Lekuru Emily? And lastly, you have Angutia Diana. These are all West Nile names. If you go to basketball, you realize that names like, of course, quite a number of names from Aluruland, West Nile, Lubara, Kakwa. Of course, quite a number of names have also surfaced in the team. That is the Silverbacks team. So that tells you how much talent we do have that is from within the region that actually is being used by the country. Of course, at the end of the day, we send out the representatives and we really expect them to put up performances and as well make us proud. Why not? We have always been yearning to have that. In football, the boys have done their part. Unfortunately, the summoning bit has been a little bit technical to the extent that you actually see some players now converting allegiance to the South Sudanese national team. That is the Bright Stars. So that tells you a lot about what we expect. What about the Olympics? Only 16 days to the D-Day. The Olympics is getting underway. Quite a number of big name stars within the country are going to be representing. Remember, on the day one of the show, together with Walter Bazali, we were able to discuss about Uganda's chances of winning probably medals from the Olympics, forthcoming Olympics. So at the end of the day, there is a lot, probably different angles that we need to look into. But this time round, what I want to bring to your attention is that now that the Olympics are getting underway and COVID has hit the situations, probably in Uganda, a lot of things are happening. You will think that it's going to be actually having an impact. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the question that I'm raising this morning is how much has COVID affected Uganda's preparation in the Olympics, forthcoming Olympics? I think it's a big topic that you, me, and probably whoever is going to join us in the discussion via our social media platforms. You can join us on Facebook and still drop your comment there about this. Then I will be responding to it a little bit later on. But I can tell you that just a few days back, I was able to interact with one of our renowned athletes. Of course, in the past, she holds a very big record as far as athletics is concerned. That is our own. That's the West Nile Gazelle. Of course, they call her Gazelle. Yeah, that is Dorcas Injikuru. She won that is a 3,000 triple chase, and it has been a big one in Uganda's history as far as athletics is concerned. Of course, winning a world championship in there. But she, while interacting with her about the Olympics, she clearly stated that COVID-19 will only not affect Uganda so much, the Ugandan contingent that's going to represent in the Olympics so much, if the Ugandans are able to support the athletes who have made it through by probably quarantining them, keeping them in safe hands, supporting them financially, and of course morally, spiritually, and all that. At the end of the day, it's going to help. But if you look at probably some of the names who have qualified and are expected to represent Uganda, you will talk about big names like Jacob Kiplimo. Jacob Kiplimo is one big figure that many Ugandans are going to probably have their stakes on him. What about Joshua Cheptegei? Yet another big name that we expect. Remember, in the last race he did have, things didn't go well. He finished 6th, and that already was a head scratching kind of moment for the Ugandans. So let's wait and see how it all will go. But I can tell you, I think the boys have been put in a very safe hands. One of our participants, probably Sina Lenny from West Nile, qualified, and right now she lives alone in a hotel, and that is still an effort put by the Ministry of Health to make sure she's kept off the gatherings, the crowd, so that she can be able to minimize the chances of contracting, that is COVID-19. That probably is a good move by the government, yeah, by one of the arms of the government. I think it's a good one. At the end of the day, it tells you, what about the athletes who are right now in Kapchora? Yeah. Quite a number of athletes, like 19 of them, yeah, have been in Kapchora. So that tells you, and they've been kept in one hotel where they were able to be monitored like every week. So that also tells you how Uganda has been able to prepare. But if you talk about COVID, the testing has been done after every 48 hours. Those are 2 days, yeah? After every 2 days, the COVID tests have been carried, more especially on those qualified athletes for the Olympic-bound ones. So that tells you a lot about Uganda's preparation for the Olympics. Many were talking about Mo Farah, yeah? Remember, Mo Farah didn't make it through to the Olympics. So that has also given Uganda some bit of hope, because Joshua Cheptegei is actually his counterpart. They were going to be facing off. But this time round, it all seems like Joshua Cheptegei, he will still have big competitors, probably big name competitors, like the Norwegian who did beat him in the last championship, world championship. It still tells you a lot. But he has broken records over records, yeah? Records over records. So that also tells you how Ugandans have prepared and probably kept hopes on some of their athletes who are going to be representing. In the world of boxing, there are also big name boxers who have made it through. The first contingent that actually traveled to Tokyo already had 2 members who were tested or returned positive results from the COVID exams carried. So at the end of the day, we had 2 positive cases, and those cases have been monitored, and managed so perfectly. So at the end of the day, those ones who are yet to go, they also have to prove that yes, we've been safe and we're going to be good enough to represent the country, that is Uganda, as far as the Olympics is concerned. We're expected to be represented by up to 27 participants from Uganda who are going to be representing Uganda in the forthcoming Olympics. So that tells so big. That was that about Olympics. I want us to move into football, where there's a lot of big talk expected. I know yesterday I did hint about Onduparaka Football Club. I also did drop something about Arua Hill Sports Club and Medical Calvary. We started off with Medical Calvary, but today I want to have something about Onduparaka Football Club. I want to have something about Onduparaka Football Club. What next for Onduparaka Football Club after Harold Joseph Mutiaba's contract ran down? Probably from different tabloids, I was able to get that Joseph Harold Mutiaba, actually his contract has been terminated. Many were saying that, but I can tell you, I was able to share with the PRO yesterday. He said Joseph Harold Mutiaba simply penned a 3-month contract with the Onduparaka Football Club. This was a 3-month contract prior to the end of the season. So those 3 months elapsed. They actually got done, which means Onduparaka never terminated his contract. Neither did he terminate his contract with Onduparaka Football Club. Only that the agreement was perfectly executed. The 3 months got done. So the question right now is, what next for Onduparaka Football Club? Many have already dropped their comments there. Just go to YouTube, by the way. On our YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch the show live. And if you're getting us via Facebook, there's a link that we have shared on Rhino TV page. Of course, you just click on it. You'll be able to access the show live and be a part of the discussion. And remember, in case of any business you want to do with Rhino TV, don't hesitate to give us a call on the number 0776 223 470. You will be able to do business with us. And in case you want to read probably more stories about what is happening or what is not being covered or uncovered from West Nile Web has all that for you right there by simply logging on to or reaching the site on www.westnileweb.com. You're going to be in a business as well. Read more of what big stories are coming through from West Nile. We have always said it is still a virgin land. Nobody still has gone deep to actually bring out what is there, but West Nile Web together with Rhino TV have done perfectly that for you, so you don't have any worries right there. Let's talk about Onduparaka Football Club. Of course, I all started it. You will get to realize that the biggest task right now, knowing that the football league right now is, of course, we are for off season, and that tells you a lot how clubs are now trying to do a kind of reshuffle, to trying to agree on certain deals, being linked with moves for certain clubs, players. For Onduparaka Football Club, it's altogether a different story, because the first thing has to be, who is that manager who is going to come? The head coach. Who is that head coach who is going to come? And who are the players he's interested in? Because I've not believed so much in coaches who are signed when the players are already there, and they will always come with a lot of confidence, maybe acting like a conman, saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to work with these players, they're good enough. I've not believed so much in such coaches. But I believe in a coach who will come with his authority and say, you know what, I need such a transfer kitty, like give me 100 million Ugandan shillings, let me sign so and so. This is my wish list. You get a point? This is my wish list. If you signed, probably appoint a manager like Charles Livingston Babazi at Onduparaka Football Club, we saw what he did. He said, these are some of the probably players I would love to work with. Get for me Solomon Okwalinga. Get for me Rajab Kakoza. Get for me Agrechiria. Get for me mentions quite a number of names. So at the end of the day, I need such coaches. That is me. But what about you, the viewer out there? What about you, the fan? What about the club themselves? So I believe in that kind of philosophy. So at the end of the day, Onduparaka will need to appoint a manager who will come up and say, you know what, I need so and so and so. I want to buy Samson Caesar Okuti, for example, from Arua Hill. Let him come to Greenlight Stadium. Then I want to do a business and bring back Richard Anyama. I want to do this. Just an example. I'm not saying onduparaka has been linked with a move for these players, but I'm just saying a coach should come authoritatively and probably have his wish list unveiled or probably tabled for the club management to decide who to bring and who not to bring. And again, the conditions will have to be so good so that the coach can work. I've not loved these things of okay, you bring in a coach, you find that the club chairman wants this player to play consistently because there's a player he has signed, he has interest in this player. So at the end of the day, the coach will need to, you know, engulf a player who is actually not fitting in his philosophy. So it raises a lot of questions. So what I'm saying is the best is to appoint an authoritative coach who should be able to come, because if this coach underperforms, at the end of the day, the club management will also authoritatively say, you know what? We signed you, we had a contract which had these ABC clauses, and these clauses, after penning them down, you have not delivered. So I don't want to see a situation where a coach will actually come up and say, why would you actually send me away when you interfered with my job? Yeah, when you interfered with my job. So it raises a very big question. But I think the best for onduparaka right now is simply to bring in a head coach who will be able to put the boys together, assemble the crop of young players, and make sure they're able to deliver. The team is good enough probably for the next season. They have Greenlight Stadium, they have everything. Many people have asked questions, now that Arua Hill has come, what are things going to be like? I've always said this. If you have onduparaka Football Club, then you have Arua Hill Sports Club. Why don't you look at the two clubs in a positive way, that they can coexist, they can exchange players? We have at least even this one. If you go to Italy, you will discover that there's Inter Milan that uses Meazza. Yes, Meazza. Then there is AC Milan that uses San Siro. But do you know these two grounds are actually the same pitch? Did you ever know that? It is the same pitch that we're talking about. There is Meazza, then there is San Siro. Two big different names, but a single stadium. So this time down, we're talking about a situation not like the Bombonera in Argentina or South America, but we have Arua Hill Sports Club plays at Barifa, you have onduparaka Football Club at Greenlight. If you look at the distance, probably you have some kilometers to cover. So you cannot tell me that the hatred, probably the word hate should apply to them. No. I don't expect the word hate to actually be in all these clubs' vocabularies. At the end of the day, the peace has to come. You know, the love for the game. You know, okay, we may talk about rivalry, we may talk about derby, but it should be a healthy one. Why not? It should be a healthy one. If we are to surely develop West Nile, like sportingly, if we were to do something, then it has to be in a very, very good way. You know, football or sports comes with discipline. So if you are that man who has to do your things in your own way, you want to influence others to probably cause the word hate, you know, for people to dislike themselves, then you're going to spoil everything. But I think the two clubs can coexist. They can. Why not? They can. Otherwise, moving away from the onduparaka talk, we're waiting to see. Probably one of these days we'll be able to have the PRO right here with me to share. Lulu Mark can be able to deliver us, because the other time I also did say that there's a big talk about Arua Hill Sports Club. Remember the rumors of Mike Hilary Mutebi, Charles Livingston Babazi returning to West Nile and penning a contract with Arua Hill Sports Club. What does that call for? Maybe KIMNAZZ cannot come here and tell you everything. Walter Bazali cannot come here and tell you everything. OJ Jackson cannot come here and tell you everything. Sydney cannot go to the Twitter account and probably tweet something like that. No, the Twitter handles cannot handle that. But we can bring in the PRO for Arua Hill Sports Club anytime. Otilul Viegas should be able to respond to some of those questions, intriguing questions. I know many are willing to learn more about these clubs, and we promise you we will be able to do that by bringing for you these figures. I've seen media fights sometimes, but it shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be something we take, you know, like as a big deal. No, it's never a big deal. Yeah, it's never a big deal. Otherwise, today about Arua Hill, let's talk about Gift Ali Gigi of KCCA. According to reports, Gift Ali Gigi is being linked with a move to Arua Hill Sports Club and Vipers Sports Club. Yeah, where is this all coming from? Where is this coming from? Yeah, where is this coming from? So I think we're talking about a player whose contract has actually run down. His contract has run down, and he is at the verge of probably living on a bossman ruling. You get the point? He's actually at the verge of living on a bossman ruling. So according to an insider, probably in information that we've gotten from an insider within KCCA, matches with the names withheld, I can tell you that Gift Ali's contract has run down, but the club, that is KCCA, is willing to offer him a contract extension, and he is demanding for 25, they want to give him 25 million Ugandan shillings as signing on fee, but the guy is a bit hesitant. He feels no. Yeah, he feels no. He's already a big name player. Gift Ali 3 seasons ago, 2019-20 season, was the best player at KCCA. If you can't remember, of course, when there was still a certain Jackson Nunda in the team, you still had some of those players that we're talking about right now. So it tells you a lot. But right now, Gift Ali, the fact that his contract has run down, tells you that clubs are always going to come. Mike Mutebi entrusted him to actually be that versatile player. Remember, having left Poland, went to police, he had a short stint with police, then moved to KCCA. Yeah, moved to KCCA. So what I'm trying to picture is that having moved to KCCA and proved himself that yes, I can be that experienced player you need in the team, that means that you will need to so much use me, and that's what exactly has been happening. Yeah, he has been used, unlike last season. They just concluded season that actually was aborted, if I may say, for the lack of better words. He extremely played his part, only that the injuries actually dented his chances of regular first team of football at some point. But my interest now is that his contract has run down. What next? What next is the $1 million question that I'm actually putting on table. What next for Gift Ali Gigi? Now that he's been linked with a move to Arua Hill Sports Club and also Vipers. On day one, as we're actually here with Walter Bazali, I remember putting up some different dots, trying to look at how we are going to be able to actually put the dots together, like to reassemble them and to make sure that we come up with the conclusion. Remember, Mike Mutebi linked to the move to Arua Hill Sports Club. Of course, the talk of Charles Livingston Babazi has hugely come through. So it now leaves you with the question of where next? For these coaches, what about Gift Ali Gigi? I've so much believed that if Michael Mutebi ends at Arua Hill Sports Club, then that will also open me probably my lips to say maybe Gift Ali Gigi will be following him to Arua Hill Sports Club. And in case he doesn't make that move that way, then should I be saying that, should I say that he's likely going to go to Vipers, because there are chances that Michael Mutebi might also end at Vipers. And again, the other question probably that I also need to bring on top is it true that Mike Mutebi will want to move with him? I know he entrusted him, played him as a right wing back, and then used him as a deep line playmaker, used him behind the main strike at some point. Of course, he has done that a lot with Gift Ali Gigi. That is the versatility that I was telling you about. But Gift Ali Gigi is probably injury free right now. The guy's in the right state. Coming to a club like onduparaka, a club like Arua Hill Sports Club, a club like Vipers will always be a big deal, so long as he's given what he's been demanding for. Yeah, he's a big name player. He deserves that kind of move. Remember 2019-20 season, he arguably was the best player in the league. Yeah, he was the best player in the league. Fantastic. He actually single-handedly carried the team at a time when the KCCA team, the Julius Polotos, were not doing a great job. But I can tell you, Gift Ali did a great job. He did a great job. Otherwise, for now, I want us to take a short break. When we come back, hopefully I will be joined by yet another figure, a surprise package for you anyway. Then we'll be looking more into some of the talks I've had already. Kind of recap, then we'll be able to move through. Remember, the Euros as well are coming. The analysis is huge. Italy did beat or eject Spain from the Euro 2020 at the semi-final stage, so they are through to the finals. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a short while. Welcome back from the short break. Like I did promise you earlier, surprise package, and I will be, of course, I did tell you that I will be joined by yet another figure, and this time round I have the man who travels a lot. He was once in Italy, and I can tell you the guy did not actually know how life in the winter sometimes can treat you. He decided to leave his room in the middle of the night only to find himself frozen at the balcony. So that happened in Italy, but then he's back, and he was actually, by the way, rescued from that situation using a heater, so that the ice was actually cut down using a heater. So the guy is comfortable and he looks nice, and as we all know, he's willing to develop beards like mine. Maybe it will come or not, but I always advise him to get married. I'm told the girlfriend or the fiancé does not live in Africa. Anyway, it's okay. Welcome to the studio, Walter Bazali.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. It's really nice being here.
You had a journey yesterday.
Yeah, I had a journey.
Tell us.
It was nice.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Did you go to meet her or something?
No, I went to Moyo. You know, Moyo is a place. There's a lot of development actually. On the way when I was coming back, I saw a lot of footballing activities.
Okay.
I think because of this pandemic, people are staying at home, but people also practicing. And I saw a number of people around Yumbe. You find a lot of football fields occupied by people in the evening. In Moyo, I went to a stadium. I think they're building their stadium very well. That's some development I also saw in Moyo. Apart from that, we want to see what happens. Maybe there are some tourism areas, features.
Okay.
Which you don't know, probably I must have seen from Moyo. But all these details, you'll get them from Rhino TV. I'm sure you'll get some beautiful insights of how beautiful West Nile is. You
surely will get it from Rhino TV. And before we go on with sport, did you test for COVID because you crossed districts? I'm told inter-district, kind of cross is not allowed.
It's not allowed, but you need to be careful. And one, you observe the SOPs.
Yeah.
Social distancing is very important. 2, avoid the crowds. 3, sanitize and wash your hands always. So these three, once you keep these 3, your chances are really slim that you would probably get it.
Very, very
And where I was more with the things which you don't talk.
Okay, things which we don't talk, and you know what what that means. Otherwise, I want us to move away. Of course, I was telling people, probably the viewers out there, a lot about what is happening. Of course, I started with some bit of talk about Olympics, and I got done with that. Of course, we did look at onduparaka, what next for them after having let go the man Harold Joseph Mutiaba. Of course, he had a 3-month contract with the club, and it's all done. So right now, he is actually a free agent. And we also did have a talk about Gift Ali, and that is where I want you to definitely come in and probably have a say. Gift Ali Gigi did pen a contract. Yeah, he did pen a contract with his club, that is KCCA, but the contract has run down, and I can tell you that he's hesitant to extend his contract with the club because the offers on table are not good enough. And now the tabloids, including West Nile Sports, have been actually telling us a story this morning that Gift Ali has been linked with a move to the, should I say, cash-strapped? What should I say? Should I say bankroll, a kind of, what words? Accounting words should I use there to refer to a because I'm told
money banks.
Somebody will say mega rich.
They're the money banks.
Gigi has been linked to the move there.
It's possible. Gigi had, of course, KC offered him a 25 million deal, which he thinks the improvements are not good. We have seen him for the past 3 years, and we have seen him, when you look at his history as well, he has turned out big cash money projects. You remember he was wanted by the Tusker because of his faith. He turned down the deal. So the chances might be high. And since he's a free agent, Arua Hill has come with a lot of pomp, I should say. And the pomp is not only that, but the pomp comes from who bankrolls them.
Okay.
The bankrolling seems to be very fine, and every good player wants to go where there's some cash. Gigi has been very fundamental for, here we call him Gigi. I hope the viewers will understand.
Gift Ali Gigi is actually the name I'm talking about.
Is the person
Ali Abubakar.
Is the person we know a lot. So we are fond of nicknaming the Gigi thing. That fact that he's a very good player. A season ago, he was very instrumental for KCCA. Last season, had a kind of injuries, but each time he was on the pitch, you'd see that ability. He can do the deep lying role, spreads the balls. He's an integral part, and I think the current coach wouldn't love to lose him at any given point. That's why, of course, it's first season. We can speculate where he's going. Rahil seems to be the destination of most good players in this country, because I don't know, there's some financial muscle there. But Gifty Ali is linkage to Rahil is about greener pastures. But otherwise, when you look at him at KCCA, I think he's an integral part, and Molly Bwekwas would want to build on such kind of players. Okay. You need the young vibe, but you need the experience. And if you realize, ever since Molly Bwekwas came into the fold, they have been doing very well, and he has been part of that fold at KCCA. I don't think they will let him go. Probably they will improve the terms with him. But if he wants a bigger challenge, maybe he wants to come back home, that's when he'll drop into the West Nile based side. But otherwise, I think it's still open. It's a transfer market. Maybe it adds value to him. I think there's some value it adds when they speculate about you. I don't know. It is something. But I think in my personal opinion, KCCA needs him more than ever.
Let's picture Gift Ali Gigi in that Arua Hill team. You're talking about a team that already has Gaddafi Gadino. You're talking about a team that has a midfield setup that has Oscar Gaba, there is Paddy Mohomuza, you have Alan Mugalu, who has been fantastic this season. Then you have, of course, those are probably some of the names that I can mention. And at KCCA, I've ever seen him being used as a right wing back. Then he has been used as a deep line playmaker. Even behind the main striker has ever been used there, because he normally can also split those passes. So picture him in that team of Arua.
In the team of Rahil, it will be when you look at, you've mentioned Mugalu, fantastic boy there. At some point, he actually benched Gadino, but of course, that role is more upfront. But when you come to the deep lying role, you find it's Paddy Mohomuza. I could easily put Paddy Mohomuza on the bench. Defensively, actually, he can come and field straight into the first team 11. He can break play, he can distribute the long passes, he can take the short passes. As you've said, he has the power. He can actually give you that attacking option. Paddy Mohomuza has been one of the outstanding stars, by the way, at Arua Hill. But the emergency, if at all he comes, he's straight into the first team. Probably, and Paddy Mohomuza could also play the attacking role. That will be a headache for whoever is in charge, whether Mbalagu, Mike Mutebi, Livingston, Mbabazi. These are all speculations coming to Arua Hill. That will give them more work to do. But talking about the players, Alan Mugalu has been fantastic. Remember, at some point, even benched Gaddafi Gadino. But Gaddafi Gadino he also proved himself. There's a youngster, a Kenyan, who has not featured yet.
It's called Telvin.
Fantastic. So whoever will come there will have a lot of headache in managing these players. But I think Gift Ali is a first team player at any given club in Uganda.
A first team player at any given club within the country, and that is Uganda Premier League, according to the man, of course, Walter Bazali. Let's talk about still some more moves, probably talks within Uganda. We also locally here did see a player called Junior being linked to the moves away from Indigo Calvary, something that has caused a lot of head scratching there. Of course, Odongo, a player at Varabo, is also been linked with the move away from the club. So that means locally here, the market also is heating up. If you talk about Ugandan market, some people say you'll just make a statement. I don't think if you're still part of the federation anyway, but there's always been that talk. They say in Ugandan football, politics actually plays it more than any other, kind of real of proceedings, because at the end of the day, if KIMNAZZ plays for Rhino TV, and tomorrow Rhino TV B comes and says, I want KIMNAZZ, then Rhino TV B gives money to the federation, probably a player status committee, then the next morning you will find KIMNAZZ donning shirt number 14 for Rhino TV B. Yes.
Yeah, it's more about you.
Just picturing what happened to Mohammed Shaban.
No, it's and FIFA is handling that. Actually, effective next season, all players must have agents.
Okay.
That is to curb what you're just saying, where a player can go back. Normally, this can happen, especially when a player is under protest. You've not played a player for 4-5 months. You expect this player can go to the FIFA player status committee.
Yeah.
That committee can make a decision. That's where the likes of Mohamed Shaban went to the committee to help them put their grievances there. Then the committee will make a decision based on the evidence they have, whether the club should allow the player go or keep the player. That already said that's how it is. But if you have an agent can negotiate for you. They are responsible for your deals. They will negotiate for you the deals, and if it doesn't work, that's when they go to the tribunal. They will appeal that. Talk about this. You've mentioned a couple of interests in West Nile. That makes that, for me, that is where we play a big role, especially the media like Rhino TV. We bring out the players you don't know, because when you look at our region, we will talk about more of European transfers. Messi's contract is out. Who is contract? But also we have stars here like Junior. He's the top scorer. You're not surprised that he's being linked to clubs. He has been Calvary's best player and he has been the top scorer for them. Statistics do not lie. So with these statistics, you realize the quality. He's a good quality player. His attributes, clubs have seen those attributes. You're not surprised he's being linked. The youngster Odong, we have seen him play for Mvara Boys the previous season. Fantastic player, he is in the middle. Maybe someone has interest in him. Now, this is the exposure this kind of stars at the lower level would need. And this, for me, is where the beauty of West Nile football comes, that you expose the unknown. Who knew Junior before he came to the big league? Now, the question goes back to, do they have people formidable for them? And the big league is only one season. So what happens after that, just to clarify that, is what happens after that is Junior might be a free agent, or Junior has no agent, will want to go and negotiate by himself. That is when you like to bring it with the former Mohamed Shaban scenarios, where family becomes part of the negotiation. You don't have a clear agent, but eventually they have had agents.
Who is supposed to approach who in this situation? Is it the player going to the player status committee? Is it the club reporting to the player status committee? Is it the player status committee coming down to find out what is happening, whether there is a wrangle between players and clubs? Who goes to who?
There are two forms of complaints.
Okay.
One can be from the player.
Yeah.
The player would want to leave, but the club will hold on to the player. Okay?
Yes.
Now, if the player feels aggravated and really wants to go, we'll go to the player status committee. In football, there's what we call tapping.
Yeah.
I may come and tap your player, and we've seen in European football, the likes of Man City and the others have faced the wrath of the law for tapping young talents.
Chelsea did that.
Exactly.
Even Barcelona.
You can go, now the club can go and appeal to that committee. Hey, someone is tapping my player. Then there are scenarios where the player's contract has run out. So the player is free to move. So there are scenarios where the player has 1 year, 2 years left on their contract, and another club comes to ask for the service of this player, and this player is willing to go. The scenario
batazo kinisi batazo lakini afadido mu danduga Augustus do mu mi ande rudo zo mi andre bebo player la lera leko andre dozo imuvara ozo azi dikalayo king dozo zo player zi andre bebo player andre ozo in school mvara ozo azi dikalayo, whether St. Joseph's College of Bati comes calling for your signature, whether you've been wanted by Usindi, whether you've been wanted by St. Charles Lona College Koboko, so long as Danduga Augustus has spoken to your mother, to your parents will just say imuvara ozo azi dikalayo. So you've made me understand the picture.
And also when you're underage, there's the element of underage. Now the concept of the parents comes there.
Okay.
Underage, in the FIFA there's a form for underage. The minor form, you feel it. When you're below 18, you feel it. But also it goes to you have to negotiate. You know, all these things are, like if I come with a better offer, as you said, Augustine will come and say, Umvara is giving you free scholarship.
Yes.
At the end of the month.
You will eat there for free.
You have a dog.
And your mothers want to see you being well fed.
Well fed, you have to be in a good school. You go. Then the other school which will come and say only give you school fees or half of school fees, the parents
will ask Nyakaro. Okay, I've understood it so well from that picture you've actually drawn, and I want to say thank you very much, Walter, for that clarification. Let's move to the Euros, and as we all know, yesterday the first semi-final game in the Euro 2020 was played quite interestingly. Of course, we might take a short break, and we come back just in a few minutes' time. And this same round, the talk will be about the Euro 2020, the game between Italy and Spain, which was played last night. We're in for a break, and we'll be back. Welcoming you back from the short break. We are still going on, like I did tell you early, together with Walter Bazali, very smartly dressed in a coat, and it feels nice that I am standing, probably seated or something, next to a very beautiful or probably handsome gentleman, if you like, because I'm told if a man is beyond handsome, he becomes beautiful. I don't know how true it is. Otherwise, you can join us via the, you can drop your comments, of course, as you watch the show. You can drop your comments right there, and we'll respond to them. If you look through some of the comments, I can tell you that Dennis Asiko is saying, KIMNAZZ, you better smile a bit. Oh my goodness, I can do that for you. Why not? It feels nice.